I think that consumption truly is going cross-platform and that people are interacting with full episode content in many places and in many ways. And they're sort of agnostic to the piping behind it, whether that's from a cable box or an OTT server or anything like that. As a result, I think that a lot of media is moving, and advertising is moving to the direction of true cross-platform serves. I know this is certainly a big initiative for ViacomCBS. We've been over a year now in market with fluid offerings within the Vantage product. We have the largest addressable footprint in the industry, over 40 million households. And I think that as publishers continue to move in this direction, and as people continue to look at advertising campaigns holistically at the campaign level as opposed to the individual endpoint, measurements can become even more important. How do you measure the efficacy of these new approaches? And how do you figure out which tactics and which strategies really are driving results for the advertiser? Well, as I mentioned, I think that a lot of advertising is moving to this sort of cross-platform format where we're enabling folks to really implement overarching marketing strategies across all the screens we have access to. Measurement fits in because you need to understand if a campaign is truly fluid, truly cross-platform, truly convergent, how do you tie all of that back from a results perspective with a measurement system that allows you to compare apples to apples, how delivery is working, how reach is working across all the various endpoints you have. In the next 6 months to a year, I think that we're going to see a lot of solutions really start to jump out in the marketplace, because this is something that I think everybody has their eye on right now. And that's really been, I think, driven by not only the sort of migration to content on OTT and things like that over the past several years, but even since this year, right, since the pandemic started, and we've seen sort of viewership and content consumption increase and change over time. I think this is going to become a continued focus of effort or focus of attention. I think a consistency in language, right, is really one of the key pieces of measurement and of currency and of all of these things that are related to measuring this. And that doesn't just sort of extend to the language that we describe and measure delivery on linear platforms versus addressable platforms versus even digital platforms. It also extends to the language that the buyers use and the buyers evaluate their campaigns against. And I think that it's important that we need to have a shared understanding of how things are being counted, why they're being counted that way, and we can all agree up front for a campaign that based on sort of a standard understanding against both sort of the sell side and the buy side, what are our goals and how can we measure those? In order to do true cross-screen optimization, and this is certainly something that not only are we dabbling in market with right now, in order to do cross-screen optimization, you have to be able to understand how a campaign is performing across many platforms, right, across the many screens. And to do that, you need essentially a data source that can tie that together, or a set of processing methodologies that can tie that together. And that's really how it relates to measurement, because what you're doing essentially is you're measuring the results of a campaign, or predicting or optimizing against the results of a campaign across screen. And again, that kind of consistent language, which is only powered by a solution that allows you to do that. I would say that even beyond being a part of a number of different industry initiatives around addressability, ViacomCBS has really been a leader in this field. We've helped drive a lot of the progress, especially with our MVPD partnerships, to understand how can you efficiently light up addressable inventory. And then we've even taken it further, right? How do you then, with addressable inventory, look at that as part of a holistic campaign package that might include national linear components, digital components, and things like that. So I would say that certainly this is a direction that we see the future of advertising going, is how can we continue to become more targeted and really serve advertisements where they're most efficient and they're most effective, and that's to the folks that are most receptive and most aligned with the buyer's overall objectives. I think that, at least from a ViacomCBS perspective, we're doing pretty well in that continuum. Again, as I mentioned, even within our linear addressable capabilities, we're able to reach over 40 million households at this point. So the pipes are there and it works and the product works. This is really where measurement comes, and I think the next 6 to 12 months are going to be super exciting, because we've done a lot to build the footprint and help drive the progress to be able to serve ads in this way and serve it efficiently. And now it's time to start looking at how can we look at that in a more consolidated view, measure it in a consolidated way, and ultimately view these things again at the campaign level as opposed to a bunch of silos of advertising serves that have to be stitched together by the buy side in reporting.